Hey guys, what is up? This is B and I'm back with another Fortnite theory. Today we're going to be diving into the story of the Ouroboros skins in Fortnite. So let's start at the beginning. When this skin came out, Fortnite tweeted out, "The cycle begins. The new Ouroboros gear is available in the item shop." So by now you've probably heard what Ouroboros is. And basically it's a snake eating its own tail or a dragon eating its own tail to kind of represent an infinite cycle. I've seen this figure 8 circle before that the snake is doing, or the dragon is doing on their shirts, and it too has also represented infinity. When I think of infinity, I usually think of time or numbers, but while I was thinking about this skin, I kind of pertained it to the seasons as well. We know that every year winter turns into spring, spring turns into summer, and summer turns into fall. It might not be that clear in some areas, but in most areas this is the case. So like the wizard skins signifying a castle coming into our area or a medieval type theme, I believe these skins also foreshadow what's to come in the next season. So here's where it gets interesting. I will start off with the paradox skin. A paradox is a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory statement or position that when investigated or explained may prove to be well-founded or true. So when you look at the paradox skin, one of the first things that you notice is he does not have a face, but instead he has this symbolism all over his body, almost as if it was tattooed on him, but it's obviously on his clothes. So what do we get from this? Besides the dragon, you can see what looks like a crane on his coat, and a crane is another symbol of China. I'm not too sure what the other symbols stand for, but if you look on his face, there is actually a cube on it, which I'm kind of surprised nobody's actually talking about. When you look at especially his face, you don't really see much of an explanation as to what these symbols are doing. And I believe maybe that's why it's called the paradox skin, because it doesn't really look like it makes sense now, but maybe later on when we've seen what is going to happen, it will. Another thing you notice if you look at his back, he's got a yin and yang sign. A yin and yang sign is obviously another Chinese symbol. This is where I believe the paradox skin actually ties into the lace skin. When you look at lace, there isn't much that would make you think of Chinese. The one thing I can say is geishas used to paint their faces white, and her face is painted white. She also kind of has a schoolgirl looking type dress to her, and besides the dragon, she doesn't have much for Chinese symbols. But the yin and yang sign is supposed to represent opposites in the world, and how they coexist together and exist because of each other. For instance, you cannot have light without having dark. You cannot have black without having white. So when you look at these two skins, Paradox seems like he is probably the lighter of the two. He has a back bling that's called Eternal, compared to Lace, who has a back bling named Stitches. Eternal seems more Chinese than anything. It almost looks like a treasure box, maybe made out of bamboo pieces. Well, Stitch, on the other hand, is a scary little teddy bear. Also, another thing that I think is really cool is Now, if you look at the glitter, seems to fit more with Paradox, and Vision, the pickaxe, seems to fit more with Lace. And it's almost like the bear's other eye is in the pickaxe. Equilibrium, the glider, looks a lot like a Chinese roof in a way. When you look up the definition of equilibrium, you find out that it means a state in which opposing forces or influences are balanced. Going back to the yin and yang, I suppose you could actually describe that as a symbol of opposing forces. Now, I'm not 100% sure what this means for the new upcoming season, but I can tell you it is extremely interesting right now, and it will probably become more clear as time goes on. I really do enjoy how they have these skins kind of tie into what's going to happen. Thought a lot about it with the wizard skins, and a lot of people seem to catch on to it. And right now we have a lot of videos going on about these two skins. So it's really intriguing how obvious it is, at the same time so hidden. I do, however, believe that these skins completely confirm that the dragon is going to be Chinese. I did make a video on the dragon, and surprisingly enough, the dragon in Norse mythology, who's in the water and actually kind of encircles an island. So maybe that might have something to do with the reason why they're putting a dragon up here. Maybe they will be in the water. Who knows what's going to go on. I can speculate with the dragons is that they will most likely hatch. We will probably not see them right away. Most likely we will just know that the eggs are empty and the dragons are gone. And then eventually on February 5th, most likely, because that's when the Chinese New Year starts, we will have an in-game event with these dragons. Now, I cannot be 100% sure what these dragons are going to do. It would be kind of cool maybe if they destroyed the part of the island that came in on the iceberg. That's always a definite possibility. They might destroy other areas of the island. Personally, I do not think that they are going to be bad dragons. Another thing that was extremely interesting to me was that the castle has an area where there's a table, and this table has 5 seats on it and corresponding symbols from the table to the chair. And we do have 5 dragons, and now we have a lot of symbolism on these, especially the Paradox skin. Well, those were my thoughts on the Ouroboros skins.